This one is my bucket list episode because I have quite a few things on my bucket list, but one of them is to go into the Boundary Waters for a day and check out Rose Lake, because I've never been there. Been a few other places in the Boundary Waters, but never there.
You've never been to the Stairway Portage?
I have never been to the Stairway Portage. I've never seen the waterfall. I've never seen the vast vistas that you can view from Rose Lake.
I know just the place where we can get a canoe.
All right, well, let's go and do it.
Let's do it. Hey, I'm Joe.
And I'm Jay.
This is Exploring the North Shore with Joe
and Jay.
I'm David Seaton, and we're at Hungry Jack Outfitters on the Gunflint Trail.
And on this episode, we're talking about taking day trips into the BWCA where you don't have to camp. It's just if you want to experience it without the camping part. What would you recommend somebody do if that's what they want to do?
Well, the easy option from where we are here, a lot of people like to go up into Duncan Lake and Stairway Portage because there's a waterfall and there's hiking trails and there's beautiful views out over Rose Lake. So that's the easy way. We also send people over to Iron Lake, which is a really nice place if it's a really windy day, when being on a bigger lake would be more problematic, especially if you're beginner paddlers. There's also a better chance of seeing moose or other wildlife. It's not really actually inside the Boundary Waters, but it's very close to the wilderness and
same experience.
Has the same experience, yep.
And how much would somebody expect to, or how much time would somebody expect to do on just a normal day trip in, spend some time, come back out? What would you recommend they set aside for?
Well, for the Stairway Portage trip, we tell people it's about 1.5 hours to 2 hours each way, up there and back. So 4 hours there, and then however much time they want to spend. Usually they're going to do lunch and some hiking. So an hour or 1.5 hours. If they're going to hike all the way out to the overlooks on Rose Lake, that's about 1.25 hours each way. So that's another 2.5 hours to add on. So it can get to be a pretty full day, and that's great because then people get a full experience, and at least they get a little bit of time away from cell phones and stuff like that.
And what sort of services do you provide here for that?
We do trip planning, and we have canoes and other equipment that they might need, but canoes, paddles, life jackets, maps that we send out with people who are running a canoe for a day trip. And then we also have the day use Boundary Waters permits that they can fill out so they're legal and the Forest Service can know how many people out there on any given day.
Okay, so they do need a permit to go. Do they need a permit to go to Iron Lake?
No, they don't need a permit to go there, but anytime you enter the wilderness area for day use, you have to have a permit. It's just a matter of filling out a piece of paper. There's no cost involved. It's not a reserved thing like an overnight camping permit.
All right, if somebody wanted to come here and do a day trip, how would they get in touch with you, or where can they find more information?
They can call us at Hungry Jack Outfitters at 218-388-2275. Or they can just show up. We don't take reservations for day trips because we always have a few canoes set aside specifically for that. And whether they're going up to Rose Lake or just paddling around on Hungry Jack Lake or going over to Iron, doesn't really matter a whole lot to us. We just want to get people out in boats.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And that's all we needed.
Cool.
So on this episode, we are going to...
We're going to Rose Falls, the Stairway Portage, Rose Lake, across Duncan Lake from Hungry Jack Lake, which is where we're standing on the shores right now.
So Hungry Jack, Bearskin, Duncan, Rose.
That's the plan. So I was eavesdropping on your conversation with Dave Seaton back there at the Outfitters. Well, I was kind of, checking out the maps and stuff, making sure we were going to be okay. Of course, under Dave's guidance, yes. We are. But what was your question? Did you ask me something, Jay?
I think I made a statement.
Oh, well.
We're going to... 4 lakes today.
Yeah, 4 lakes. Okay. So,
4
yes.
lakes, 3 portages.
And it's a absolutely gorgeous day out here.
0 wind.
Like
slight breeze.
3 mile an hour or something.
Slight breeze. Sun shining. Clouds are out. No Canadian smoke.
Yeah. No, it's gorgeous. And you remembered the fishing rods, right?
Yeah, we're not going to go fishing.
What?
You're not going to make that mistake again.
What? There are lake trout in these waters where we're headed.
I don't want to embarrass you in another episode.
My gosh. Well, let's get paddling.
All right, let's do this. Exploring the North Shore with Joe and Jay is sponsored by Cascade Vacation Rentals. Now, while we don't have any rentals on Hungry Jack Lake or Bearskin Lake, we do have a great rental on Birch Lake, located on the Gunflint Trail. Go to www.cascadevacationrentals.com and check out Birch Lake Retreat. Don't forget to use promo code PODCAST to get our largest percentage off discount available at any given time. Again, that is www.cascadevacationrentals.com, promo code PODCAST, and check out Birch Lake Retreat. All right, so we are now on our second portage. We are in between Bearskin and Duncan. Joe's got the canoe, and we have officially entered the Boundary Waters. We are now on Duncan. It's warm. Why are you still wearing the pack?
God. I'm like, why am I so uncomfortable? Can't paddle for save my life.
Good timing on that. You know, Rose Lake has been on my bucket list now for actually since like 2011, I want to say.
Really?
And that's when I worked at a summer camp down in Sturgeon Lake called Camp Miller. Shout out. And we actually sent a group of kids out into the Boundary Waters. And when they came back, I was asking the trip leader, so Hannah Martell, another shout out there, what was the best part about the trip? And she said it was like hands down Rose Lake. Like going down into it, the waterfall, and then she said just standing on that beach and looking out at the cliffs on the other side and everything, and just the entire experience. She said she just stood there for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was just incredible.
Nice.
And ever since that moment, I have been waiting for the day that I could come out and experience it.
Well, today is that day.
And I'm beyond excited right now.
Nice.
So let's go to it.
Right on. We're almost there.
Woo. We have made it onto, well, we just made it out of Duncan.
Yep.
And heading
Terrible
now.
weather out here today.
Seen a handful of people enjoying themselves. Couple family out of Clearwater Lake.
Clearwater, yes.
And it looks like we're here with a few other people. There's a fair amount of canoes here, but
Some families, they're in shorts. Everyone's having a nice summer day up here.
it's gotten to be the mid-70s now. Still no
Oh, yeah.
breeze.
Perfect day out here.
So I'm excited to get up to Rose Lake, so let's head out.
So this is one of the probably most popular portage trails on the middle Gunflint area. As you can see,
Very well traveled.
yes, some portages, for example, into a place like Rush Lake, or which is through the Skipper Lake Portage entry point. It's a mile long, and it's like the forest is, so right now, to describe this to the listener, there's a well-established hiking trail, unlike the Superior hiking trail. I mean, this is basically a hiking trail.
Yeah.
And cleared out on each side about 5 feet. You know, you can tell it's been cleared here.
Mm-hmm.
On some of those other less traveled portage trails, it's going to be muddy in here, and it's going to be
You're ducking under branches. And
yeah, and it stays in shade. It's just like the forest. When you look in there, it's like that shaded, and so the trail stays muddy, and it's grown into, you know, you're walking like this as opposed to this. So that's how you can tell how much traffic a portage gets. And this one clearly gets a lot, and because
we're on a very narrow part right now. Hold on.
because of the reasons that it's one of the most beautiful, if not the most, the payoff is well worth it.
I hear some rushing water. So.
Now I think we'll have to make a return trip in the winter,
Yes.
because the Frozen Falls is equally or even more impressive, but obviously you got to work to get here. But skis, we can get here faster than we did canoeing.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. You know, I haven't been cross-country skiing since I was like 14.
Cool.
Yeah, 16.
Yeah. You're about due then.
Yes.
So the border route trail connects, I think here. And that goes to the falls. There's Rose in Canada. Oh. And here's I think this is the border route trail.
Because I do know, yeah, you can basically just hike here.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's right off the border route trail. In fact, in the Caribou Rock Trail that we crossed on the Portage, coming up from Duncan, when I don't know if you heard me say that or not,
yeah.
Jay, but
yeah.
So there's the Caribou Rock Trail. That also gets you here without having to use any type of canoe. So you can hike from Hungry Jack to get to where we are right now.
That's so fun.
Well, I mean, it depends what you want to do. If you want to go hiking, you can hike all the way. If you want to paddle, you can get here this way too.
Oh, that's cool.
Rose Lake in the winter is pretty mind-blowing. But so is Duncan.
Well then, we will definitely have to add that
But so is Duncan.
to the list. The water is really rushing now.
Yeah, this is just part of it. This isn't the monster.
No.
The staircase.
Okay, this is the one?
Nope.
This is baby
You'll
one?
know when you're there.
Okay. Dude, it sounds like the water's coming from all around. Ooh, yeah. Let's see.
If it sounds like there's a giant waterfall there, that's because there is one.
That's great.
We're still descending.
We're still moving. Okay. Moving away from the falls, continuing on. Oh.
That's the stairway.
That's the staircase. Okay.
So, I've seen...
People fall?
Nope.
Oh.
Sled. And I was telling you earlier, I don't know if maybe this was part of the episode or not, but earlier I was talking about how it's harder to go downhill often with the sled.
Yeah.
Because it's going to pull you, or if you're trying to, you have to let it go in front of you, like walking a dog, basically. But it turns, and so I refuse to sled.
It does have a turn to it.
Yeah.
I almost... Oh. I want to... Hold on.
You want to get the whole thing?
Yeah, I want to get the whole thing.
I think you should.
We pulled out the video camera. Got the GoPro. I gotta go from the falls to walking up here. Okay, be right back.
Jay's wandered off again, as she tends to do. Hopefully she makes him back. If I was just making a trip to come up here for either the first time or just getting started exploring the North Shore area, the Gunflint Trail, coming into the Stairway Portage is pretty much a must-do thing, weather permitting, your time and so forth, because it's really amazing up here. This never gets old, no matter how many times you come. The feel of it up here, seeing the expressions on other people's faces when you come is just priceless. And the cliffs, the vistas on Rose, which I'm looking at right now through the trees, is this is about as good as it gets. And it's spectacular. So come check this out, please, if you have time. And you talk to somebody like Dave at Hungry Jack, they'll put you in the right direction for where you want to go.
All right, let's go.
Here we go down the Stairway Portage. This is one small step for Jay, and
I'm so excited.
she's going where many have gone before now. Of course, many have also had huge packs and canoes on their shoulders.
Shoulder day. Where I can fit a surprising number of items.
Walking down the Stairway Portage. A marvelous way to spend a day. Nicely done, Jay. You got a canoe coming?
Yeah, there's a canoe.
Okay,
Shortly.
thank you. You doing okay?
Yeah.
Had a good trip?
Yeah.
Catch any fish?
Yeah,
Yes.
we've caught some smallmouth.
Smallmouth bass?
Yeah.
Any lake trout?
No.
Oh,
You are so happy.
hi. Rose Lake.
Rose Lake. Oh, we're here. I see it.
Will lead you to Canada.
Well, it's half in Canada, isn't it?
Mhm.
And it's Rose Lake after a person, not Rose Lake after
Flower.
flower. I know that much. Ooh. Oh, look at that.
It's a nice place, isn't it?
Yes. So the pretty part's the Canadian part, right?
Yep.
Figures. We are now leaving Rose Lake and we are back on the Stairway Portage. This time we are going up. You can hear the waterfall in the background there.
See you, Rose Lake.
Bye.
Thank you for
It was
your company.
Very pretty. I understand now why people like it so much. Oh, definitely worth the trip. I can cross it off my bucket list now. I'm very excited about that.
Nice.
A lot of stairs going up. You know what I don't like about it? They're smaller steps. If they're a little bit bigger, probably do 2. There we go.
Yep.
Whew.
Jay, we're stopped here now on the portage back from Duncan into Bearskin, right at the peak here of where the Caribou Rock Trail intersects the Portage Trail, and just wanted to take a moment just to sort of say, hey, you've done
We did it. I
That
did
bucket
it.
list thing that you wanted to do,
It was
check it off the list.
It was well worth it. I will say the waterfall is beautiful. The view you get into Canada from Rose Lake is incredible. I went swimming in Duncan. This was a great day.
Got to hang out with Dave at Hungry Jack Outfitters and just learn a little bit about how they make these day trips possible. Very easy. We never had to get in a car, no transport. It was just we paddled away from Hungry Jack Outfitters
Right from their dock.
and made it out here no problem. And I don't know what, 3 and a half,
I think
4
we're
hours.
I think we're probably, we hung out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We ate a cookie.
Yeah, yeah, delicious.
Had
food.
some water. Just enjoyed the view. Sat there for a few minutes just enjoying the view and enjoying the scenery.
Yeah.
We got invaded by some kids at the end, so we decided to carry on at that point. But yeah, those kids were there with, I think, their parents, having
Sure.
a great time. We passed a couple other kids in canoes with their parents. So this is a family-friendly get out and just enjoy the Boundary Waters without having to fully commit to a full Boundary Waters trip. Just take a day,
Yeah, and it also gives you the experience of portaging. We met some people who were maybe just learning how to do that, so it's an experience to learn how a Boundary Waters trip is going to feel before you really have to commit to the whole thing. And pretty much everything we wanted to do and thought might happen. Beautiful day, easy
Yes.
paddling, just an awesome day out here in the Boundary Waters. And so time to head back and
Do we have to?
carry on.
It's very peaceful out here, very relaxing. I feel, you might go out and you think this is like a big adventure, and it is, but it's very relaxing at the same time, and a great way to just kind of reconnect. And it was fun. I can't wait to do it again.
Okay, well, I'm Joe.
And I'm Jay.
This is Exploring the North Shore with Joe.
And Jay. Boom.